I feel like someone of the spirits want to talk just now. I don't know, but it feels like that. We will see if someone's showing up. And I try to change my health to be better, but as I don't have any help from any doctors, do I try to find it out by myself how to do this, and I find I'm curious about that, to drink goat milk, and that is not easy here in Sweden because we don't use so much goats for its milk, and we don't eat goats so much, and they are more like pets to us, the goats. But I had that hint, maybe it was from heaven, that I should start to drink goat milk instead of cow milk. So I have started to do that, and it's very few stores, grocery stores, that have goat milk. I can get some goat cheese, but I think it's been like so strong for me when they do it to be cheese. So I was happy when I saw that we had got, it was new in my grocery store that I mostly buy things from, and that they had just got a new product, and that was goat milk from Norway. And I see it as very clean when it's coming from Norway. So I bought it to test it, and it doesn't taste so much goat in it. A little I can feel, but not much. So we will see. I will tell you after have drinking goat milk 1-2 months, if I remember it, how it is for my body to do that, because goat milk should be good for the body. The incest for the stomach should be, and so I try to drink it, and I have drink it for some days now, and it is still going on this with Jerusalem, that I need to take the last part of it. But as it was before, I listened a little on the episode the last time I recorded, that it was very much spirit things in it. So it maybe will be the same. But it was this that I had to touch the Golden Gate, and I find out that doesn't work to do it. It is in the ground. It's not the building. It is destroyed from far in the past. So if there is any part of the Golden Gate, is it under in the soil, so that I can't touch. And so I understood that it was something else they wanted me to do. And I say to you, before I took the flight to Jerusalem, I told you that when I come into Jerusalem, the Spirit will tell me what I should do in Jerusalem. I say that to you. You that follow me, you remember that I told you that I don't really know what I should do in Jerusalem more than touch the Golden Gate. And because they say this, you should touch the Golden Gate, I understood it was Jerusalem I should go to. And then they told me in Jerusalem, like I say, that they make me do other things that they want me to do in Jerusalem. And it was, I knew I have to go to the Golden Gate, but it was not really the Golden Gate, because they were telling me, the spirits told me that it was the bridge between the Mount of Olives and the I don't know, no, I don't remember, but this it's not really a mosque, but it is for Muslims. That is the picture of Jerusalem with a golden roof. But I know that it when I come to the mount, that I knew that church rock mount, this place, that it was not to go inside the mosque. It was never. And I was thinking about that first. If you remember that I say how to reach those golden gates. And I thought it was the one that you can see with your eyes, that is built today. That it was that, but it was a fence around it. So I was thinking this, that I should pretend that I drop a ball on the floor, and then let the ball go down to the Golden Gate, those gates there, and touch it. That was what I was thinking when I was in Sweden. But when I come to Jerusalem, I was told from heaven more. And I told you the first night my mother come through, and it was like she had to break like a plastic glass. Sound was it like. So I heard for the first time this, how they enter into our dimension on this planet, because when they are not here on this planet, they are in a dimension around our planet, and they have to to go through it in many ways maybe. But what my mother showed me and told me, it was that just when I wake up in the night, I heard a crash of glass plastic away. It was not clear glass. And I have seen someone in like a glass chair, like a royal chair, but of glass with no color. It's only glass. And it was for many years ago, the first time I saw. I was inside the room, and it was paper was on the wall, and there was 7 papers, and I knew I have to go through those papers to do the assessment of what the white pages told me. And I go there many times. It was not only one time. I go in the night and saw these papers, and more and more I did the assessment. I did that task of what it says in the paper, and I could see someone sitting like on a throne of glass, but I couldn't really see who it was, but I knew it was someone there. So today I am thinking that maybe it was my mother that was follow me, and then in Jerusalem she could break this glass throne she was on. I am not 100% sure, but now it's coming a spirit, because I'm talking about that. And the spirit is talking about the glass throne, not about my mother. It's about where the glass throne I have seen many times. And it was in a cave, and it was a dark brown cave. And today I know it was not heaven, it was hell. But there is light in the hell also. And it was this paper, but it was like laying on a table with the scrolls in. It was 7 tables, and then on each of the table was scroll. And I walk to those scroll each table, and I open up the scroll, and then I read, and it was like a rebus that I should understand, and I understand 5 of them, but then it was 2 more to do, but it opened of itself. I didn't need to do those 2 last scroll, and that is also an answer why did they open up those scroll for me when I could understand the rebus. They let me move forward into the cave, and then in the cave, the hall, that floor was like a Milky Way. So it fooled me a little, because I thought I was in heaven in that time, and because it was this glass, but it's connected to heaven. The hell was connected to heaven, so it was not alone standing heaven. Hell was not on its own. It was connection to heaven. And then when I go in this hall, the long hall with this glassy floor, on the left side, it start to open something in on the left side, on the cave's wall started to move on the left side, and on where I was walking, and I turned to that place where it started to move in the wall of the cave, and it opened up, and it was a long stair up to a room, and there was a throne of glass. It was one that was higher, bigger throne, and then it was two smaller. It was not small, but they were a little lower than the big throne, and all of it was of glass, transparent glass that you can see through it, and there was no one on the throne, and then the floor was like Milky Way, and then on the right side I saw shining of like gold, but I know today that it was the enter to heaven. I told you that it's connected to each other. It's not it's standing by itself, the hell. And there is a throne room in hell that I saw, and but I didn't see who was sitting on the throne, and so it was a big stair up there, but I never did it, because I wake up after I have seen what was in the room, throne room, and so I have seen many times those like crystal glass, Milky Way glass. And one time I wake up in the night and I saw like a crown, and it was this transparent glass that was showing me, and the crown was over my head. So it's very much about like a glass. And so I was to now I'm coming back to Jerusalem, and now he wanted to talk about it. He have not answered me yet, this spirit, that he say about this glass. He say it can be hard to break. And my son, he was in a school for to make glass, to make this things, decoration in glass. They blow the glass over fire and did a glass and crystal. And my son teach me a little about it. He was in the school for to make glass, and he told me that it's depend on what you do with the glass, because some of the glass he took home, he steal it and took it home, and because those that did real handmade glass, they threw it away if it was a little air in the glass. Then it's be weak when it's be a drop of air inside it. But it can be very hard, the glass, if they burn it more. And those cheap glass, they that is what they do in factory. They that never going so very hard, very warm in the fire for a long time to be this really hard glass. And that the Spirit is want to tell me about this, because he talking about you need to be in this for to help heaven in what they call you to do. You have to go through the fire to be strong. That's what he's talking about, what the glass means. Because it depends how long you burn the glass. If it should be, glass, if people doesn't touch it, the glass can be for many 100 years. And as long as they have ability to could hold a real warm fire going on. And that was not so very long time ago, because you don't find the glass in those places. In the time of Jesus' time, there is not any glass there, because it needs to be very warm fire to make a hard, good quality glass. And that was it he's talking about. He's talking not about the literally. He's talking about the spirit way to make you strong, to let you go through hell, in literally hell, and then come out from it so very strong you can be. And some people can't take it. They are not those people that is going to be in God's army. He's testing people here on earth for you to come to be in God's army. That is the leader of the God's army. That is Israel. Jacob is the front man that in the army is Jacob, because he could fight against that angel that come, that was an evil angel that wanted to throw him down from the cliffs, and he could hit it and tell it to go away. So he was very strong. So this is a spirit thing they are talking of to me about this glass, and that the glass that I have seen it have never broke. The silver cord have never broke that I have with heaven. It's the glass they show me. It's have never broke. It's strong. It's have going through very warm fire and coming out from it and become stronger. That is what the Spirit is saying here. And so that he's telling this about Israel. He's saying that it's Israel's people have been so proud. He's saying that it's being proud, and it's not the same people that God wanted to bring into his army, because they are weak in their pride. He is saying that to me. And you know already, he's telling me that God's people is not in one country. It's what's inside you that make the nation of Israel, that is the same as Jacob was very strong man, and that's what God's people is also. And it doesn't matter where you live. You can live in a Muslim country, for example, that if you do what God is telling you, that you should not look at the side side in your walk that you do in life. You should not pick up what is giving you from other people. You have to make your own way and come closer to God, Allah, or whatever you call God, because it have nothing with his name to do. It's the connection between you and him, and have nothing with whatever the world is calling him. God knows when you're talking to him. It's a spirit way. God is not a human. God is a spirit. So there is no barriers. This spirit is saying barriers. So that is no obstacle that make you have not coming close to God. It have with you to do what you decide to do in life. If you take knowledge from other people, that is not what God wants you to do. You need to find your own way to come closer to God. And when you take one step, God will take two steps to you. If you only take one step at a time, He will build you up. Now it's the Spirit talking. It's not me talking. When you take one step to God, it's like He form you around you. He do a protection around you for every step you take, and He take 2 steps to you to cover you with protection for the next step. You should walk close and be with God. That's what He's telling me, the Spirit, to tell you this. It's you that have very hard time to could survive, and you have like being in prison of what other people is telling you. You don't focus on God and heaven, but you should do that. It's the only way to come to God, is to be in focus on God, that is in the front of you, that is waiting for you a little far away from the road you are walking. And if you add into your life what other people is telling you, one day you will be separated from God. You will not find the road anymore to come closer to God. If you only listen to what people around you are telling you, if you only listen to those priests and pastors and those that have the authority of people, that is, have been in your life the authority, that you do what they tell you to do. They go into your mindset and take over your thinking, and you have to have a clean brain mindset to could come closer to God. I have many listener that is Muslim, or that is from other religion and Christianity, and nowadays more and more I get you that is in very strong religion, that is being in prison of the religion that is in your country, and you are not free, but you have not understood it before, that you are not free by copy what they tell you to do and think. You are not free in that way, and God will give you free. He will make you free by if you walking that path that is for you to walk, that is only between you and God, and no one between there. Then you have to stay on that road. And it's so many that try to make you walk away from that path, that the silver cord that you had, as soon as you are, they wanted you to come to earth, and you have the silver cord with you from where you have been in heaven, and then coming down to that mother that should give birth for you to enter into this world, this planet. And you have the silver cord, but there is many ways to break the silver cord, and then is it very hard to find back to the silver cord and let it go with you. If you break the silver cord, it will be very hard to find the way to God. So you need to. It's many people that say when they hear from heaven, and they say it's not heaven, it's demons that talking to me. That's a way to cut off the silver cord, so you can't come to God. And so it have been told before, but it needs to be told to you once again, because it's very few that listen to all the episodes in the podcast. Sometimes I see in the statistic that people have download episodes, the whole, everything in the podcast, to what I hope is to listen to all. And you need to follow this podcast, because it's many times is building up you. They teach you more and more, and it's the episodes that have been maybe for maybe 2 months ago is one step into the knowledge this is about. He left. He walked out from me. This spirit. So I don't know what to say about. I'm going back to Jerusalem now, and it was when I have very hard to come back to Sweden from Israel, but I didn't call my boyfriend in Israel to drive me to the airport. I go by myself with that taxi I have already paid for, and I come in the morning, and I didn't want to sit inside the hotel and take the taxi later on in the evening, because I felt like I was done with the hotel. I wanted only to drive away from it. And I understood it should be many hours in Tel Aviv to wait for the airplane. But I was thinking, like in Copenhagen airport, those people that was disabled, they have their own room, and it was new, not chairs. It was to lay down and almost to sleep. I could take up my legs high up in this chair, like a sofa, and we had water to drink, and we have bathroom where we were sitting and waiting in that room. And I was thinking about that. It should be in Tel Aviv for disabled. I have not been disabled in Tel Aviv airport. This was the first time. And then you see a picture of where I was, just where all people come into the airport, and it make very much noise, and people come and walk around, and then I sit on a chair of steel, and I sit there in 9 hours, and I needed to go to the bathroom, and the bathroom was not around where I sit, and I needed to have someone helping me to the bathroom, and the one that was sitting and I don't know if, but at least protect our disabled chairs we should sit in, and she said that I have to walk on my own to the bathroom, and I couldn't do that. It was very far away, and it was this hard floor they had all over the airport. So if I fall, it should be very hard to fall. So I'd be angry. I was screaming at her that I can't walk to the bathroom. It was far away, and she ignored me. And as I have to pray to God and heaven to help me inside my mind. And after 5 minutes, it come a new woman that should sit there and take care of whatever they did, because they didn't help me as disabled. But I said to her, the new one, that I need to go to the bathroom. And she called for a wheelchair company, and a woman come and get me in a wheelchair and drive me to the bathroom. And she told me that it was a company that was helping people that was disabled. They got paid for that, and she said that they should call us, because we are here to work with them, to take care of disabled people if you need to go somewhere. She said, so I know it was very wrong of them. And she say, I'm coming back when it's time for you to check in, she said to me. So she was very nice, this woman that was with a wheelchair. And then she come just before I should check in. And she say, I think you need to go to the bathroom first. So she drive me to the bathroom, and then to the check-in. And then I come to the gate that was before us. It was a gate for those that coming from Istanbul. They come from Istanbul and Turkey, and they people have to wait over 1 hour. It was 1 hour late, and they were very angry people, and I was scared that it should be like a fight there, and no And then suddenly everyone was gone. And then it come a young woman that looked a little like Asian. I mean, like Chinese style. And she asked me, is it here to fly to Finland, to Helsingfors, to Finland? And I say, yes, it is, because I'm going there also. And then it doesn't come any people. And then it's come a young man to me, because this woman I talked to, she went away. And the young man said to me, are you going to Finland? He said to me. And I say, yes. Then he said, hurry up, it's on its way to fly away. And I be so surprised. And then I look around and there were no service to take me. I had got this woman that come with a wheelchair with me there. But then he said to me, this young man, it changed. It's another gate you should go to, he said to me, and told me where it was. And I was confused because I was so very tired in the brain. So I had been like, the brain had cut off. And maybe they have said many times that the gate was changed. But I didn't heard it because my brain was so tired. And then I have to go. There was no one come and helping me in the Tel Aviv airport to change the gate. And I asked people that was working in the airport where it was, this gate, where to go. And I knew I was hurry. I have to be hurry. And then I was frightened to fall on the floor because the brain was so tired. And I met many people that work in there, but no one was to help me. There come people service people that was only to walk around there in the airport, but no one helped me. I say I'm disabled, I can't walk so fast, and I have hard to focus on where the gate are, but no one helped me. And God knows that, heaven knows that they didn't help. They could have helped me, but they didn't. If I maybe put up some money, they should help me. But I was not thinking in that way. But I come to the gate, the new gate, and it was like a Chinese woman standing there, and she got so very angry at me, and she said, the airplane have gone. You can't go on the airplane because it's on its way to leave now and have closed the door, she said to me. Very, very angry. And I'd be a little sad when she was talking like that, because I did my best to could come to the gate on my own. But then it was a woman in the airplane. She saw me. So she come up to me and it's time for the airplane to fly away. And I say I had service here, assistance, because I'm disabled, I say to this woman. So she understood this. So she was not angry at me like the Chinese style woman. And so I come into the airplane, but because I was so very late, they placed me to a couple that they were very, very sick, and they placed me just on the side. I had seats since before that they have made fix it for me, but now they change my seat to be, because the other people didn't want to sit where they were coughing and sneezing and was very sick. So they placed me there, that I should not have been sitting there. And they say it's much better that you sit here. It's better to walk for you, they say. And I was tired. I was not paying attention to that they were very sick on the side of me. And I, on the left side and the right side, I have two women that sit on my right side, but they have mask on, and they were sleeping the whole time. They didn't eat or drink anything in the airplane. They were scared about what's going on, and but I have to sit there because I was late. It was so wrong, everything, and then when I come home, I got that the doctor say I had COVID-19. They gave me that in the airplane. I was sitting so close to this couple that have COVID-19, and I couldn't I had my mask on, but it was impossible to sit with a mask because when we go to Finland, they were flying a different route because we were so close to Russia and Ukraine and the war going on. So they fly a different way on the side of Ukraine and Russia, and they fly the most high they could come, and in the airplane when I sit there, and it was so very hot, and so I couldn't breathe with my mask on. So I have to open up and hope that I should not get any COVID-19. And then I heard it's Mayday, Mayday, Mayday in the airplane. I suppose that it was that they were so very high up. So it started this Mayday, Mayday, that it's a warning that you can't go higher up. So it everything was wrong to flying the route I did, and then I sit for some hours in Finland's airport on my own, and waiting, and then and when I come back to Copenhagen to Denmark, I had a taxi that I have ordered a taxi to my home, and the man was coming, and it was nice in Copenhagen because I had a young woman that helped me, and she was out and looking for the taxi to come to the airport, and he come, and they took me in a wheelchair out to the taxi. But when we drive back to my home, to my city and to my home, I thought it was so very strange that the laundry, these trucks, big trucks, that come from other countries and should go up maybe to Stockholm, that they drive so strange, because they're driving come from the right side of the road, and then they go in before the taxi and almost crash into the taxi. And it took me 2-3 times to understand what was going on, because the taxi driver falls to sleep, and I have to talk to him that he have to wake up, and he fall to sleep 3-4 times before I come home. So that was also very dangerous. I could have been killed on the road. And I asked him, are you sleepy? I say to him. And he said, I have been working the whole evening and the whole night. And he was to the airport and get me at 8 o'clock in the morning. So, and he say I was the last customer he had, and then he should go home and sleep. But I say, you are already sleeping in the car, I say to him, and I tried to hold him awake by talking to him. So that was very dangerous. But I come home. I suppose it was many angels that protect me on the road. So I come home and could sleep, and I sleep for 2 days, because I didn't know that I started to get COVID-19, and then I be very sick, and I was thinking, because COVID-19 that we had was going on for a long time, and I was thinking that I maybe don't know how it is to have influenza, a flu. I was thinking, because I have been inside and not been sick in anything. So I was thinking that I maybe have forgotten how it is to be really sick in influenza or flu. But I was thinking, I can't remember that I was coughing out my heart. It was very much coughing the whole. When I sit up, I didn't cough so much, but when I should sleep, laying in a bed, I wake up the whole time and coughing very. And you that have followed me, you know how much I cough when I start to recording. I couldn't record the first day, but I tried to recording as soon as I could talk. and it was very bad, And then I have to go to the emergency room because I cough so very much. And then the doctor was a devil. I saw it, and I have placed it on one episode that the doctor have that on his, if it was Twitter or where I find it, and it was the devil he had on his profile in Twitter. So I saw it was the devil. And he didn't tell me that I have COVID. He say, you have only ordinary flu, he say. And then he sent me home. So he didn't help me against COVID-19. He knew I had COVID-19 because they tested me. And when I started to go to my doctor, my new doctor I have here, where I live, in the clinic, she looked at what's going on the closest time, and she said, you had COVID-19 in the beginning of January, she said to me. And I be shocked because the doctor at the emergency room say I had only a flu, and then he say I could go home. But the suspicion I had with him in the emergency room, he say that I should not go out for some days. He say I should stay at home, he say. And that was, normally they don't say like that when you have a flu. I have never heard a doctor say that I should not go out for some days when I have flu. So that make me understand. He knew I had COVID-19. But I am protected, so I didn't was killed of it. I have not taken any vaccine. I'm out from vaccine, so that's why I get it so very hard. But it didn't kill me. You see, my whole life I've been like that I have been so very close to die. But I have a protection from heaven, because they want me to do things for them. They have asked me, people, that if God is with you, why do you have all this bad experience of being almost killed, and people don't want to be with you, and those things they ask me. But that is to be working for God, it is not a smooth walk when you really walk under God, and God have called you to do things for Him. It can never be smooth, and it can't never be a success before in that time that you walk to do those, you obey God and do what He tell you to do. And now I have, it started when I was going to fly to Jerusalem. That's where it started, that you that listen have sent me money so I could do this in Israel. Ended my walk for God. in that way about traveling. And I ended in just in December, in January, when we got 2023 year 2023. I have done the work and the work I do for heaven and God, and it have changed because now I get some money, so that's have changed. And maybe this man that is coming is someone to be with me in my life, because I need to have a man on my side that can talk to those doctors and other things that you need to be two people to explain really from two people what's going on, and that protect me also when people see that I am not by myself. So much maybe it's going to happen, and that is for the good. And it was also before, but it was very, very hard to obey what God had placed in me. I know it was not year 2000, but I gave up to fight in year 2000 and wanted to make a suicide. I was ready to do a suicide, but that make the priest that have been with me my whole life, since he come with a silver cord with my birth, he come with me, and he saw I was really done with life, done with the world, done with man, and I have decided to make a suicide. But the priest that have from heaven, he come down and talked to me about my childhood, what was before year 2000. He was talking to me, and I understood, and I was healed from it. And then come God that was talking to me, that I didn't see, but I heard his voice, and he talking about the future. So that was like they knew that I should not make a suicide, because they needed me, because it was like first I was educated to be strong. It was very much bad things in my childhood, and I was on my way. I was killed when I was between 2 and 3, but God come and wake me up, and then they decide that going on with me to be strong. And then when I was so done with everything and should go into the water and kill myself, then they understood she had come into the break there. So they took me away from Sweden and took away from all these people that I know today was not good. It was evil going on. Even my daughter that I have not seen being evil, but now she have turned around and be so much evil going on with her, and she's saying that she belonged to her father and not me. So my children have going away from me. So it doesn't matter that I left them, because they were never my kids. So the heaven took me to United States, to start my walk there and come to know God and come to know heaven. I didn't know before 2000 that there is a heaven, there is a God. I didn't know that, but I come to be educated in that in United States from year 2000 and until today, when I ended that education. I ended that in Jerusalem, and now is it still education, but that is coming from heaven. The Spirit's coming here and educate me. I don't need to travel away, and I can't because I'm by myself and disabled, and I have not very much money. You help me to get some money so I can pay this man to go out and walk with me now. Not that I sit in a wheelchair. I'm going to walk on my own legs, but I need someone to hold me. So the brain, if it's a brain going away and I should fall, I don't fall because I hold in him. And that you help me. I have got some money today from you that listen, and I thank you very much for that, because you heal me. You are together with heaven to heal me in that way. And this time I didn't see the name of who it was that supported me to be healed. I didn't see your name, but God knows your name. Heaven knows your name, and they will help you. And I am glad that you have not written your name, because it's not about me and you, it's about you and heaven. So they know, they have control over everything that's going on here on this planet. So I thank you, the Spirit that was here to come and explain a little. I didn't understood first that the Spirit was talking in a spiritual term about this glass and crystal and this to make it hard. And but I understand what he was telling me. It was not about a thing, it was about to mold and change me to be stronger in the knowledge that there is a God, there is a heaven that is with us, and that we can, when I'm lonely, I can talk to them, and they give me comfort. So thank you. It become a long episode, but I hope you don't mind about it. You can listen at it, break it down, and listen at it for 10 minutes, and then 10 minutes more, and then 10 more, but the whole episode. So thank you. I love you, and God loves you more. Thank you.